It's really nice to be here. I appreciate the invitation, and coming from Paisley to West Kilbride, the craft town of Scotland. I've been reliably informed you're a very educated audience, so I hope you'll put up with my thoughts for this evening, or afternoon even. And what I want to do is give you 3 things that's going to help you. If you've got a dog, it's going to help you improve your relationship with your dog. But being an intelligent audience, I'm sure you're going to know this already. So I've got some questions for you, because I know you're quite clever. The first question I'm going to ask you is, could you tell me what in the wild, what animal is most closely related to a dog? Any ideas?
Wolf.
That's right, thank you. A wolf. Okay, that's the easy one. More difficult. Genetically speaking, do you know how closely related the dog and wolf are? So if I said percentage terms, 0% would be not related at all, 100% would be the same species. Could you throw me some numbers out, please? Give me an idea.
90.
90%, okay. 5%. 90, okay. What was that? Oh, this man is close. He's done it before. 99.8% genetically. So there's a 0.2% genetic difference between dogs and wolves, and there's an example there. So what that means is that the nature of the dog is very similar to the wolf. Its instinct is a wolf. And what I basically say is that inside every dog there is a wolf. Okay, and we have to bear that in mind when we interact with our dogs, that they are expecting us to behave in the same way that they do. And unfortunately they live in a completely different world and don't understand the language that we speak. So I'd like to give you 3 simple rules of engagement with your dog. Often we don't follow the rules, and the worst case scenario is usually we get bitten by dogs because we haven't followed the rules. So follow these 3 rules of engagement with your dog and you'll have a better relationship with it. How are we doing? Okay, so first rule, never step into a dog's personal space, okay? As humans, we don't like it. I'm just going to demonstrate it, okay? Okay, when we step right into someone's place, how do you feel? It's really uncomfortable. So I don't know how you feel when you go into a lift and it's packed full of people. Has anyone started reading the button sign that sort of says that it's the Statler lift and it can take so many people? We concentrate on the small details because we can't stand looking at the other people. It's the same on the train. People are on their phones, the books, etc. They don't like being in closed space. The same rule holds for dogs. So with the dog, never invade a dog's personal space, okay? If you do, worst case scenario, you could be bitten by a dog. So what that means then is that whenever we greet our dogs, we don't go up to them. We wait for them to come to us, and I'll talk to that a bit more about you. The other thing about it is that we get dogs often invading our space, personal space as well. That's rude on the dog's behalf. They're trying to assert their leadership over us. So when a dog tries to invade our space, particularly when it jumps up at us, we ignore it. Dogs are really clever at trying to get our attention. And it's okay if we've got a little dog that's jumping up at us, but when we get a large dog, or it's with a little toddler, it's not as pleasant. Okay, that's the first rule. Second rule is eye contact, okay? If I make eye contact, I'm talking to you, I'm making communication with you. So eye contact's really important with a dog as well. If we want to communicate with the dog, we make eye contact with it. If we don't want to communicate with the dog, don't make eye contact at all. So I could be talking to Chris here and I'm being really rude because I'm not making eye contact with him. How many of us are out in the street, we see someone walking along the road and we don't want to see them? We don't make eye contact, we pretend they're not there, okay? It's the same thing with dogs. So have you ever noticed as a dog, you've called it over and the dog's going... Yeah? So eye contact's about communication. Sometimes dogs will stare at us. We've got some food in our hand, some chicken in our hand. The reason why they do that is they think they are Jedi masters. You will give me that piece of chicken. And the thing is, how many times do we give them the food? Oh, they want the piece of chicken, so we give it to them. And what we're doing is, we're telling them they're higher in the pack now because they have told us to give them food. The other thing about staring, it's aggressive. So the other rule I would say is never stare at a dog because it's aggressive. We're carnivores, like dogs and wolves. When I stare at you, I'm going to eat you, okay? So the third rule is call the dog to you if you want to make a fuss of it, okay? How many times we come home from work, whatever, the dog comes up and go, oh, isn't it lovely to see you? So the dogs immediately say, result, I'm higher in the pack than you. So when your dog has calmed down and has left you alone, then call the dog over to you. If the dog comes first time, straight into your personal space, make as much a fuss of it as you like. If it doesn't, some dogs like to do, just gonna do my yoga, do a stretch, right, okay, come right over. And do we clap the dog then? No, because I didn't ask it to do yoga. Some dogs like to bring us a toy. And say, look, I want to play with you. Did I ask you to bring me a toy? No. Again, the dog's trying to do things on our terms. We have a black and white collie called Sally. She's the reason why I'm here today, because we got a dog listening to help us. She's brilliant at this game. I lost my train of thought there. That's not the last slide, is it? Sorry. Okay, so what she does is that she wanders over, and at the last minute, she stares off to the left, just reaching out to her. And she's trying to get me to come into her space. So those are the 3 rules. 1, never invade a dog's personal space. 2, make eye contact if you want to communicate. 3, call the dog to you if you want to make a fuss of it. Okay, thank you.